Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm here to give you guys my review for The Walking Dead Season 8, Episode 6, and this episode is called, The Kin, The Widow, and Rick. And this episode came out on November 26, 2017. And yeah, overall, this episode, was very average, very one-of-the-mill. I don't even know if it was really average. I just didn't really care for this episode all that much. This is an example of having way too many characters in this show because I think they were trying to squeeze in all these storylines in this episode, and it just really didn't work. But the stuff that happened in this episode I didn't hate. It just felt like there was way too much going on, and it didn't really accomplish anything in this episode. However, I don't think the way they went about this stuff was necessarily bad. It's just that it just felt like there was way too many cooks in the kitchen when it came to storylines in this episode. They tried to get everything squeezed into one episode, and I just didn't really think it worked out very well. So that kind of made me not really like this episode that much. But the stuff that happened in this episode, I didn't necessarily hate. So I'm just going to kind of, obviously, because there was so many storylines in this one episode, I'm just going to talk about each storyline all at once that took place because they spread them out all over the place. So it wasn't hard to keep track of them, but it's like it was just so many storylines that it just really didn't feel like anything really got accomplished. I think they could have done a lot better. Maybe put these storylines somewhere else in an episode, or kind of spread the storylines out in different episodes or something. Because I didn't really think any of these storylines were really were really all that compelling. Starting off with what happened first in the episode is each member of the leader of the community kind of leaves like a little note about what happened throughout the series of episodes, like what Rick was doing, what Maggie, what's going on at the hilltop, what's going on at the kingdom, and Rick pretty much, and it kind of ends with Rick telling everybody that yes, people have lost their lives, but remember what we're fighting for. We're fighting for freedom, and we're also fighting for, one last fight so we can create a better world without the saviors. I like that part of the episode. So that we're getting up, I thought it was kind of a nice way to kind of update everybody. So yeah, that was fine. And then I'm just going to kind of break down what happened with Rick first, because really, it's probably going to lead to a bigger story, but nothing really happened with it. What happens is we see that Rick has been kidnapped by the scavengers because he was locked up in a dumpster. And when they take him out, Rick presents them another offer. He wants to make another deal with them. The scavengers, at least the leader, Jadis, is shocked to see that Rick wants to make a deal with them after they shot him. And then Rick's like, well, you didn't shoot me, you grazed me. I don't really know which one happened. I'm just going to say she shot him because she took his gun and shot him. I guess grazed would be a different thing, but I think it was supposed to be funny, but I didn't really find it funny. It was kind of like one of those things that Walking Dead kind of tries sometimes, where they try to make a joke, but then I don't really find the joke all that funny. And sometimes it's kind of like, stick to being a serious show because you're trying to be funny when you're clearly not being funny. But that's besides the point. So Rick shows all the pictures that he's taken and tells them that they're very close to taking out the saviors. And his offer is that they can either join them and, forget Negan and help take out the saviors and, help take out the saviors and be a part of the better world, or they can deny it and they'll kill all of them and they won't be part of the new world. So they decline his offer. They decide to stick with the saviors, and they lock Rick up back in the dumpster. And at the end of the episode, we see that they write A for Alexandria, and they're gonna do something with Rick. His shirt's been taken off and everything. So I'm assuming it's gonna lead to them trying to murder Rick, because I kind of looked up scenes. I watched it on TV, and it showed like scenes from the next episode, and Rick's like on his knees or something. I don't really know what's going on there, but that wasn't really anything really all that bad. I thought that was a nice storyline they did. I'm gonna give it like a thumbs in the middle. It was okay. Really, I really didn't hate it or anything. So, other like minor storylines that took place was Michonne and Rosita want to go out and see what's been going on with this war. And I forgot to mention in the beginning of the episode, Rick reveals that he wants to finally end the Saviors within a couple of days, which I'm assuming because he's been kidnapped and stuff that it's probably not going to be 2 days because this, unless they're gonna, because there's like still, let me think. I gotta think for a second. 11 episodes left in the this season, and unless I know like technically Walking Dead isn't an episode sometimes isn't a day. It can be like the same day. I don't really think it's gonna happen within a couple of days. There's gonna be some sort of confusion or something where it won't happen within a couple of days. So I don't know what's gonna happen. But with Michonne and Rosita want to go out and see like all the sanctuary because Michonne started this. Really is the one that started this war, and it's killed her to not really be able to see it. You know, because she's been injured, really hasn't been able to do much, which is kind of shown why she hasn't really been much of a factor in this season. And Rosita really hasn't been either. Rosita, I think, has a different reason because she just had a kid before this, so. She probably is doing that more focus on probably being a mother than being in the show. She's still going to get paid money no matter what, so what's the difference? I'm talking about in real life too, not in Walking Dead world. So yeah, they are driving and they overhear like somebody sitting somewhere, so they go and see what's going on with that. And it was two members of the Saviors. They were gonna take. They had like these speakers where they were gonna use, where somebody was sitting, and they were gonna use this to lure the Saviors, the Walkers, away from the sanctuary. But they get caught by Michonne and Rosita, and Michonne gets into a fight with one of them, and she gets her ass kicked, obviously, because she's still hurt and still recovering from her injuries. And Rosita takes some sort of luckily I have it right here. Well, they kill one of them. They were able to kill one of them because Rosita shoots him and the guy explodes. But they weren't able to kill the other one because he escaped. She escaped before that because she got scared, I think, after hearing that explosion. And then what happened is before this, Dale had gone to Taylor and wanted to use his plan that he had given to Rick, but Rick wouldn't go for it. So Dale was going to go attack the sanctuary ahead of time, and Dale runs this bitch over, and obviously she wasn't able to get the stuff back to the sanctuary in time. And then Daryl, Michonne, and Taylor and Rosita all go to the sanctuary, and Michonne sees all the walkers there and kind of makes her satisfied. But Daryl wants to strike ahead of time and go against Rick's plan. So I'm assuming that's going to be why Rick's plan, why they're not going to end up meeting within a couple of days, because Daryl is going to kind of fuck up Rick's plan. And when Daryl wanted to strike in advance, it's not going to go very well. So, yeah, I didn't really think. I thought that was also thumbs in the middle. I didn't really think that was anything necessarily bad. It just kind of felt like it was just. It just kind of felt like it was just kind of a throw-in storyline. Like I said, a storyline that could have been brought up at any other time. And then also, what happened in this episode was Carl meets up with the I have to read his name because I don't think I'll be able to pronounce it. Sadiq. Because he had been trying to find this guy. This is the guy we saw in the season premiere that Rick shot at. And we feel that Sadiq has set a walker trap. And Carl gives him food. And you know, Carl tells him that you said that you're saying your mom had a saying about helping people. Well, my mom had a saying about that too. That sometimes it's tough to know what's right and wrong, but then you also have to really know what's right in the end. And Sadiq, and then Carl then starts to ask him, tells him that they want Alexandria, and Carl asks him the typical three questions: how many walkers have you killed, how many people have you killed, and why? And Sadiq answers all the questions. He's like killed 237 walkers. Obviously, give or take a few. He's killed one person because a herd of walkers was about to kill him. I'm assuming we're going to find out that the person he had to kill was probably his mom, and he reveals that he kills all these walkers because his mom believes that it frees their souls, and he wants to honor by what his parents say. And he asks Carl if he's going to do the same thing, and Carl says that I didn't, I wouldn't be talking to you right now and bringing you back to my community. So Carl goes to bring him back to his community, where they want to do a herd of walkers, and Carl wanted to a herd of walkers, and wants to kill them to honor their mom's word, to honor Sadiq's mom's word, so I wasn't paying attention. And he goes and murders all of them, but Carl gets into a little bit of a struggle where they pin him down to the ground, but he's able to shoot them and kill them. And Sadiq, I think, apologizes because he's causing trouble for Carl, and Carl says he's not really causing him any trouble. So we see that Carl's kind of run away uninjured. So that wasn't really, that was a pretty good storyline they did. I'll give that a thumbs in the middle. That was pretty decent. And then back at the kingdom, Maggie I always screw up the names. It's Carol. Carol wants to go see King Ezekiel about what to do next for the plan. But Jerry tells him that the king's not seeking any visitors. And Carol tells him that we have to do something because we have to strike now with the saviors, and we're supposed to meet Alexandria on the hilltop for it. And King Ezekiel doesn't answer, so she goes to go do it herself. And then we see Henry wants to do something about it because the saviors killed his brother, but Maggie says not to follow him. Well, then eventually, later on in the woods, Henry is attacking walkers with a keno stick, and Maggie shows up and shoots both of them. Maggie gets pissed at him for following him. And she actually mentioned that if Henry stays in the woods and starts fighting, she'll get lost, which was kind of a callback to Season 2 when that happened to her daughter. So I kind of like that kind of stuck with her. So Henry wants to kill the Saviors, though, because they killed his brother, Benjamin, back at Season 7, Episode 12. So Carol lets him. Then eventually back at the kingdom, Carol goes in to see King Ezekiel. And King Ezekiel's upset because he's been playing the part of the king, but he really isn't a king. And Maggie tells him that, asks him why he kept coming to visit her when she was staying at that house off the kingdom. And King Ezekiel says that Maggie's made him feel real because he didn't have to. No, sorry, not Maggie. Carol has made him feel real because Carol has made him feel real because he didn't have to play a part of pretending to be a king. And Carol says that the kingdom needs you now. That you need to show them that you're a king and overcome this adversity because we're very close to taking out the saviors. And King Ezekiel doesn't think that he can, so he tells Maggie to leave him alone. I actually like the storyline they did with King Ezekiel because normally he's been the person who's kind of given people faith, and now he's very down because of everything that happened in episode 4 of this season with his tiger dying and everything. So I like this. This will get an up. All right, and then the final storyline that took place in this season, no, it's not this season, in this episode, was Carol, was Maggie, was everything that happened at the hilltop. Jesus has been feeding all the prisoners of the Saviors that they took hostage, and Maggie doesn't really know what to do with these people. So she tells Jesus that she doesn't want him feeding her their supplies, and Maggie's like trying to figure out what to do with these people. Gregory's saying that they should just kill all of them to prevent it, and Maggie and Gregory's talking about how you should be careful who you trust. So then eventually what happens is Maggie decides to keep them as prisoners and totally figure out what to do with them. Pretty much the same thing Jesus had suggested, but she actually went with Jesus' idea. But she also takes Gregory as a prisoner because obviously she's afraid what's going to happen is eventually she's afraid Gregory's going to go again and try to make another deal with the Saviors, much like he did in the beginning of the season. So she takes him prisoner, and Gregory tries to fight out of it, but then they beat him up, and they put him in they had like a fence all lined up, like as if you would keep your dog in there. They even have him tied up, and one of them tries to break free, but one of the other ones doesn't want them to get killed, so one of the members of the Saviors says that they're going to take this place and take it hostage. But then Maggie reveals that the only reason she kept these the Saviors alive in case they need some of them to help fight against the other members of the Saviors. But if they don't need them, they're going to kill them because they're too much of a liability. So I did like that part of the episode. And then Aaron wants to go finish this, obviously because his partner, Aaron, I forget his name off the top of my head, Eric, I think it was, died. So Eden wants to go help him. So I don't know what that's leading to. So yeah, that was fine. I like the stuff that happened at the hilltop. I'll give that an up. I kind of like how Maggie, you can really see in this episode that she's really taking leadership at the hilltop. So I did like that. And I think Maggie's been Maggie's been a pretty good leader. I like it. I think she's been a very good leader for the hilltop. And then that's it. Really, that's all. That was the whole episode. And talking about this episode, it was very run-of-the-mill, very average. I'm probably going to say it was an average episode. It wasn't necessarily a bad episode, but it wasn't a good episode either. But it just felt like that you had way too many storylines going on, and it felt very run-of-the-mill, just kind of, just kind of there. Really, nothing was accomplished. Yeah, pretty much. It's probably, obviously, it's probably not one of those episodes you really need to see. So whatever. I really didn't care about it all that much, so yeah. It was very average. If I had to rate it, I'll give it like a 5 out of 10, which was probably as means an F. But it's like, kind of in the middle, so it still kind of failed in a way. I think this episode really should have been a lot better. I don't know what's going to happen now with it, but what's going to happen now in The Walking Dead, but this episode didn't make me want to watch the next episode or anything, but whatever. But that's pretty much it for my review. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please make sure you guys like, comment, and share this video for more content. Make sure you guys subscribe to this channel for more content, and click on the bell so that way every time I upload a video, you guys will get the notifications for it. Make sure you do the same thing for my CM Brothers YouTube channel. And that's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you later.